Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ielts Insider. My name is James, and today we are going to be looking at some idioms. And today's idioms are all related to the human body. Now, that's not to say that the meanings have anything to do with the human body, but certainly the words do. So, let's run the intro and we'll get on with today's. All right, so we're going to start today with just a quick introduction on what are idioms. We will look at some examples and definitions and some sample sentences. And at the end of today, I've got a little bit of a homework assignment for you. Now, while we're here, please remember to like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. Please also look in the video description below for details of our website and other social media. So before we go on with today's lesson, let's look at some of the comments. Who is here today? Layla is here. How are you doing these days? I'm doing fine, Layla. And how are you? I hope you're doing well. Layla is also saying, what a significant topic. Yes, idioms are an important topic. Sleepwalker's here. Hi, Sleepwalker. And idioms mostly sound funny. Yep, I agree. Some of them, they're very hard to work out the meaning of them from the words that make them up. So yeah, they do sound strange at times. Which idiom do you use very often? Let me think. I suppose when something's very easy, I would say that's a piece of cake. What other ones do I use often? If I'm not feeling well, I may say I feel under the weather. That's a great question, actually, Layla. I can't really think of other ones. Some of the ones that we're going to use today, I do use very, very often. May's here. Hi, May. I hope you are well. And Mirnawati, hello, everyone, wherever you are. Very good. How's everybody doing? Hi, Salma. And she's saying hello to everyone. Very nice. And we've got a little bit of chat between everyone here. Lavanya is here. Hi, Lavanya. I hope you're doing well. And so, this a great question, Sleepwalker. So we're coming up to the kind of holiday period. So the live stream schedule is going to change a little bit. I will still do some live streams over the vacation. I think Robin won't be, but we will work out a schedule. But there won't be as many live streams as there usually is Sleepwalker. Unfortunately, Layla, I am not going to go on any vacation this winter. I would love to, but impossible. So common idioms. Yeah, the common idioms are the ones that I use most often. Okay. So let's get into today's lesson. First of all, what is an idiom? Well, the simple way to think about it is just a group of words that have been established over time through people using them, and their meaning is not easy to figure out from those individual words. So they become kind of little sayings that people use to describe specific situations. So that's what makes them a little bit more difficult than other English vocabulary, is that the meaning of the idiom can be completely different from the actual words that it is made from. So some examples: on the fence. So if we say I am on the fence, it means we cannot make a decision. So from on the fence is kind of difficult to get to that meaning. Go the extra mile. There's another common idiom that people would use to do something that you're not expected to do, or people have never asked you to do, but you're going that extra mile. You're trying to do something extra to help somewhere. Running on fumes. Now, this is an idiom related to cars, and running on fumes describes a situation when we've got no energy. So we can't do anything. I'm so tired. I'm running on fumes. So this idiom comes from cars. If cars don't have enough petrol, they can't run. So just as the petrol runs out, they're running on fumes from the petrol. Best of both worlds. Sleepwalker, this is another one that I use very often. And this is one that I've done in previous lessons. So the best of both worlds is where there's a situation that's got two things that are happening and both of them are good. So we've got the best of both worlds. It's a small world. So this is a common thing. Maybe we bump into someone in the street, or a friend knows another friend. Oh, it's a small world. So these are some examples, and it kind of shows us how difficult idioms can be. From the words that we're looking at, it's very difficult to decipher the meanings. Now, today we're not going to study these idioms. Today's idioms are all related to parts of the human body. And there's so many idioms that use body parts within them. So what we're going to do, there are lots of these, but I've just chosen 10 that I think are kind of the most commonly used, and they're ones that you could use to talk about your daily life or things that you like or dislike. So we're going to look at these 10 idioms in two groups. I've split them into groups of 5. I think it's just a little bit easier to manage 5 idioms at one time. So our first 5 idioms are get something off my chest, give a hand, in over my head, keep an eye on, let my hair down. So we can see we've got body parts, we've got chest, hand, head, eye, hair. So all of these idioms are using body parts. Now, this is the difficult thing with idioms. Although they're using body parts, the meaning of these words doesn't have anything to do with the human body. So they do have some specific meanings. So just before we go on and do a little bit of a quiz, you're welcome, Layla. Zakaria is here. Good morning to you. Okay, stay more comfortable during winter. Yeah, yeah. And Layla's saying we have that same one. It's a small world used for the same situation. And I think this is something that is quite common with idioms. Different languages have very similar idioms with similar meanings. So we're going to look at these 5. And what we're going to try and do, first of all, is match up these 5 idioms with their definitions. So get it off my chest, give a hand, in over my head, keep an eye on, and let my hair down. And here we have 5 definitions. The first one, taking on a task you are not qualified or able to do. The second definition is to tell someone about your problems. Third one, to take care of someone or something. Next one, to relax and have some fun. And our final definition is to help someone. So I'll give you a few minutes Let's just see if you can match up the definitions to the idioms on the right. You could just write the number and the letter in the chat, and let's see if we get these correct. While we're doing that, we have a few other comments coming in. Pallavi is here. Hello, Pallavi. So happy to see you here as well, Pallavi. Welcome to the stream. And we're getting hellos from Sleepwalker as well. So let's say, okay, what do we have? So for the first one, Salma is saying this is in over my head. Sleepwalker's also saying that, and Zakaria is saying that as well. Okay. For the second one, to tell someone about your problems, Layla is saying that's get it off my chest. Salma is also saying that, and Zakaria is saying that. Mirnawati is saying that as well. Great. And for C, to take care of something, Sleepwalker has said keep an eye on. Okay, Salma has said keep an eye on, and Layla as well, and Mirnawati and Zakaria. We've all got the same here. For number 4, to relax and have some fun. Zakaria has said let my hair down. And Salma has said the same for that one. Mirnawati, the same. I think also Sleepwalker, yeah, same as well. We've all got the same answer. So that leaves the last one. To help someone is give a hand, give a hand, give a hand. Yeah, okay. So I think we've done quite well here. Nasima as well, give a hand. So yeah, we've got all of the correct definitions here. Fantastic. So taking on a task you're not qualified or able to do, you are in over your head. So to tell someone about your problems is to get it off your chest. Take care of someone or something is to keep an eye on. To relax and have some fun is to let your hair down. To help someone is to give a hand. And sometimes you may see the idiom lend a hand. It's the same meaning, give a hand or lend a hand. So what we're going to do is look at some examples of how we can use these 5 idioms in sentences. Then I would like you to try and make some of your own sentences. You can write them in the chat. Robin is saying, please remember to like the video and show support for me. Okay, thank you very much. So let's start off with get it off my chest, or what we'll notice here is I've chosen just one pronoun here. We can use it with others. Get it off his chest, her chest, your chest, whatever. But it means to tell someone about your problems. So when I need to get something off of my chest, I speak to my best friend. So yeah, there's an example. Johan felt great after getting everything off his chest. Sue couldn't keep quiet any longer. She just had to get it off her chest. So we'll see how the grammar changes a little bit here, depending on who is using the idiom. So obviously here we're talking about Sue. She had to get it off her chest. Johan, his chest. This time we're talking about me, so my chest. So this is a kind of good way to look and see how these idioms can be used in the context of a real sentence. So, who do you speak to when you need to get something off of your chest? So, let's see if you can make some of your own sentences using get it off my chest or get it off your chest. Write them in the chat and I'll make any corrections to sentences as I see them. Okay, so Layla's saying, I can't sleep because. Okay, so there's a conversation. I couldn't sleep last night because of some issues. The second person. So, issues, in this case, we would use get them off your chest rather than over, off your chest. Get them off your chest. Zakaria is saying it's better to get issues off your chest rather than bottle it up and let it simmer. Very, very good sentence here. Again, because we're using issues, it is the plural. So this time we would change it to them because we're talking about more than one issue. So it's better to get issues off your chest rather than bottle them up and let them simmer. So again, sometimes we have to be careful with the grammar in these idioms because some words have to change either to do with the tense or in this case because it's plural or singular. Thank you for listening to me. I needed to get that off my chest. Very good. So there we're using get that off my chest. Very, very nice. And this is a very common usage of this sleepwalker. Great sentence. Yeah, get them off your chest. Great. When I have a problem and I can't solve it alone, I absolutely get that problem off my. Now, not off your husband's chest because he doesn't have the problem. It's only the person that has the problem. So I would say here, I speak to my husband and get it off my chest. So I speak to my husband and get it off my chest. Because if we've got a problem, we're not getting it off of somebody else's chest. We're getting it off of our own. Most of the time, I keep bad news for me and don't get them off of my chest. Oh, so this is where plurals become difficult. News is actually singular. Yeah. So this is something that is seen as the one thing. So in this case, don't get it off my chest. Oh, it can be tough with plurals and singular. Every day, my network connection is getting something off my chest. No, is this because you're speaking to someone, Lavanya? And that's so I don't think it's the network. It would have to be the speaking to someone part. So I would change that because your network connection can help because then you can speak to people. But when we're talking about getting something off your chest, it's talking about the action of speaking about problems. After talking to my friend, I felt better because I needed to get it off my chest. Excellent, Layla. You can get it off your chest by sharing with me. Okay, I would just change the word order here, May. Sharing your sadness with me. Sharing your sadness with me. Excellent, Zakaria. Perhaps the best way to get issues off your chest is writing them down. Lovely sentence. I breathed a sigh of relief when I got it off my chest. Great sentence. When I have a problem, I say to my husband and get it off my chest. Yep, Mirnawati. Yep, a lot better here. So remember, the problem is with you. You're the one that's getting it off your chest. So yeah, this is great now. Okay, let's go on to our next one, to give a hand. And this is meaning to help someone. So again, I'll give you 3 examples. Would you like me to give you a hand with that? So maybe somebody's carrying something heavy and you're going to help them. Would you like me to give you a hand with that? Mo is going to give me a hand when I move house. So I'm moving house and my friend Mo is coming to help me. He's going to give me a hand. Addy is a great guy. He is always offering to give a hand. So he's always offering to help. So again, we can see here how we can use this in a sentence, how this works. Now, this idiom has a verb in it. So if we are going to use it in the past tense, we can change the verb just like we would normally. So if you were making a sentence in the past tense, my friend gave me a hand with my homework last night. Give becomes gave. And that's what happens in these idioms. If we have a verb within the idiom, it will usually operate like any other verb. The tense will change as well. So let's see how we get on with this. Oh, here's one from May. I will always talk to my friend whenever I would like to get something off my chest. Okay. My sister gave me a hand when I was working on that project. Excellent there. So there we're using the past tense. Perfect sentence, Layla. Hi, fella. Do you mind giving me a hand with my Ielts homework? Very, very nice sentence there, Zakaria. Do you mind giving me a hand? Great that you're changing the verb. I'm not able to open the jam jar. Can you give me a hand? Excellent, Salma. Pallavi, yesterday I was worried about something and I was glad to get it off my chest. Perfect sentence, Pallavi. Really, really nice. May is saying we should always try to give a hand to those who are in need. Perfect sentence again, May. Really, really nice. So we should always try to help. I just moved to another apartment. Can you give me a hand? Yeah, this is great because this is how I would use it in everyday language. So maybe I'm doing something around my house and I need an extra person to help, maybe my son. And I'll say, here, can you give me a hand? Very, very common way to use it. Great sentence. My family always gives me a hand when I face hardship. Great again. And look at the way we've changed the verb because we're talking about the family. Very nice. Okay, great examples for give a hand there. The next one is a little bit more difficult here. In over my head. So again, that pronoun can change. In over your head, in over his head, her head, our heads, whatever way we look at it. I've just chosen in over my head as the pronoun, but it could change, as we'll see in the examples. So again, this is when we're taking on a task that we probably shouldn't be doing. We're not qualified to do this task, and we maybe don't have the skill to do that. So here, I offered to set up the new IT system, but I think I'm in over my head. So I told them I can do this, but I've realized I don't think I can do this. This is too difficult for me. So I'm in over my head. This one, Shri was asked some difficult questions in the interview. She was definitely in over her head. So here we're changing the pronoun again. But yeah, maybe the questions, Shri didn't have an answer for these. So she's thinking, oh, I'm not able to do this. I'm not qualified. I'm in over my head. They had no idea how to organize a kids' party. They were in over their heads. So again, Look how we're changing the pronouns in this because we're talking about more than one person. So they didn't know what they were doing. They were in over their heads. So these are some examples. How about some of your own examples? Let's see, we've got some ones coming in from before. Layla said, I'm preparing to move to another state. Could any one of you give me a hand? Perfect sentence. Really good. Carlos Cease, my sister give. Now, for this one, we would have to change the verb here. So if this is a regular thing, my sister gives me a hand. If it was just a one thing that happened in the past, my sister gave me a hand. So we do have to change the verb depending on what you're trying to talk about there. So my sister gives me a hand for regular activities. My sister gave me a hand. So this one I was now here, Sleepwalker, we're missing out one of the words here. Yeah. Oh, sorry, you've corrected it. I was in over. Yeah. So I was in over my head when I agreed to do this work. Yeah. So we've agreed to do something, but then we think, oh, I'm not capable of doing this. Excellent. He asked me for giving him a. So for this one, I would change this. He asked me to give him a hand, but after a while, I figured out that I was definitely in over my head. So a few changes here. He asked me to give him a hand, but after a while, I figured out I was definitely in over my head. So a few small changes there. I'm trying to install a new boiler, and I think I am in over my head, and I need to call an electrician to give me a hand before I make a mess of it. Excellent, Zakaria. We just need an article in here, and we've got a perfect sentence. But really nice. And a lot of people do this. They think, oh, this activity is quite simple. I can fit a new boiler. I can put shelves up. We think we can do it, and we start and we realize, oh no, I am in over my head. This is too difficult for me to do. I am in over my head when my boss required me to do the report. May good, but here, because here we're using past, we should change this to past as well. I was in over my head when my boss maybe asked me to do the report. Salma's saying my supervisor gave me some tasks and I was in over my head, so I failed. Yeah. And it's so common in the workplace. You're given something to do that you maybe have never done before, or it's not part of your job. So, yeah, very good. And we've got hello, Mokhtar. Hello to you. To show my empathy, I gave a hand to those who suffered from diseases by volunteering after the natural disaster. Now, so I would change this around again, Mirnawati. Although I was in over my head being a volunteer. So just take being a volunteer and move that to the end of the sentence. It's going to make more sense. But great use of two of the idioms from today. So overestimate. Now, it's not about overestimating because sometimes you do overestimate and you're in over your head. Other times, especially in work, you're given this to do, but you don't know. So sometimes it can be about overestimating your own abilities. I did this happened to me recently. I had an electric guitar and I thought, oh, I can change all of the electrics and put new parts in really easy. And I spent 2 hours and I realized I was in over my head. In that case, I overestimated my abilities, but not always, Sleepwalker, not always. He asked me to give him a hand. After a while, Yeah, much better, Layla. My teacher gives me an assignment. I'm in. Now, here I would change this to past tense, Pallavi. My teacher gave me an assignment, but I'm in over my head to do that. Yeah. So just change that a little bit. I'm happy to see you as well, Mokhtar. Great to have you in the stream. So I was in over my head when my computer didn't turn on as usual. So in this case, we don't know how to fix it. We don't have the skills or ability. I think I'm in over my head just now, Carlos's, maybe. Okay. I'm always here to give a hand in any work. Very nice, Pallavi. Lovely sentence and a great sentiment as well. Always nice to help people. I Yeah, that's it there. Although I was in over my head being a volunteer. Great. Yes, I can play guitar, Sleepwalker. I've played guitar for over 30 years. Yeah, I used to be a musician when I was younger. That was my job. But yeah, and I still play guitar very regularly. I try to play every day, but it's really difficult to find time. Okay, next one, to keep an eye on, to take care of someone or something. So again, let's have a look at this. Now we'll notice we've got a verb in this one. So the verb can change if we're in the past tense. So Joe kept an eye on Sally's fish while she was on holiday. So Sally's gone on holiday and Joe just went round and checked on her fish, made sure everything was okay. And I think this is quite a common thing when people go on holiday. We maybe would go round to keep an eye on their dog or even just keep an eye on their house, make sure everything is okay. I had a health check and the doctor said I should keep an eye on my weight. So, again, this is something we should pay attention to. We should take care of our weight. We don't want to gain too much weight. So, we have to keep an eye on it, take care of that. Here's another one. Could you keep an eye on my laptop while I go to the bathroom? So maybe you're in a coffee shop and you're alone and you've got a laptop, but you need to go to the toilet quickly. Well, quite often you would say to the person on the next table, could you keep an eye on my laptop while I go to the bathroom? So, yeah, take care of someone or something is to keep an eye on. So, oh, you would like to hear? Maybe one day we can do that in a live stream. I wasn't in over my head to do something. I think we probably wouldn't use that. Now, there's nothing wrong with using it, Layla, but because we are describing that specific situation of doing a task that we're unable to do, we probably wouldn't. Now, I'll give you an example of how I would use it in the negative. Let's say you thought you were going to be in over your head. So there was something, oh, I don't think I can do this. But you found out that you could. So in that way, I would use the negative. So I would say maybe, I thought I was going to be in over my head, but I wasn't. I would use it like that, but I wouldn't really use I wasn't in over my head. That doesn't work so well. Grammatically, it's fine, but it just doesn't work in the context of the meaning of that idiom. You're welcome, Pallavi. Maybe sometime, Layla. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay, May. I'll keep this in mind. We need to keep an eye on that patient as I think he can crash anytime. Excellent, Zakaria. And this is something that would be commonly used in hospitals. So we are going to keep you in overnight just to keep an eye on you. Keep an eye on you. Just make sure nothing is going wrong. Excellent. Very nice, Nasima. Teacher gave, we would change that, gave us a task, but I was in over my head. Police keep an eye on thieves. Excellent, VJ. Very nice sentence. I will keep an eye on the dinner while you're finishing your work. Very, very nice. So we're cooking the dinner and we need to do some other work. And somebody offers, oh, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll watch it while you're doing that. Lovely. I had to keep an eye on my little nephew when my sister was very sick. Great sentence, Layla. Really nice there. My husband and I have a mutual understanding and share our responsibility to keep an eye on our children. Great sentence again, Mirnawati. My teacher always keeps an eye on every student while teaching, especially on me. Is that because you're causing trouble and the teacher has to keep an eye on you there, Pallavi? Very nice sentence. My mother, I think this would maybe be past tense. My mother asked me to keep an eye on the kitchen while she was having a shower. Or if it was present, my mother asks. My mother asks me. I have to keep an eye on my nephew when he comes home because he's overactive. So just change come to comes. Great sentence, but yeah. And keeping an eye on people is really quite a common use of this. So maybe with young children, we have to keep an eye on them. Yep, Salma, you've corrected it yourself. Great. Mother keeps an eye on her children while they're playing in the garden. Yep, very good, Shaima. Great, Layla. My sister asked me to keep an eye on the girls. Great, Carlos. Perfect sentence. I will keep an eye on your cat if you want to take a short trip. Great. And this is a very common use of this. Really good here. The security team keeps an eye on anyone acting suspiciously in the airport. So there, we're keeping an eye on them. So this is kind of a little bit different from taking care, but this is the same kind of idiom. We're looking closely at someone. Okay, I'm keeping an eye on the favorite item that I'm going to buy. So again, slightly different meaning, but it means we're looking at something closely. Great. So we had the last one of our first 5, let your hair down, which was to relax and have some fun. So again, some examples. We've got a verb, so this verb can behave like a normal verb. So my mom always lets her hair down at the Christmas party. I've been under a lot of pressure at work, so I think I need a night out to let my hair down. Sam is very reserved and finds it difficult to let his hair down. So he finds it difficult to relax and have a good time. So again, let's have a look here how we are using this, looking at the verb, how it changes. Yeah, because we are using he or she in this case, let's, and yeah, have some fun or relax. So let's have a look. When he offered that job, I thought that I would be in over my head, but I wasn't. Perfect, Layla. That's exactly how I would use that. So rather than saying I wasn't in over my head, this is a better way to go about it. Great. Could we use this in a next? Yeah, exactly, Mirnawati. So let's say you've been asked to keep an eye on somebody's seat. They're sitting there, and somebody comes and sits down on it and go, I'm really sorry, I didn't keep an eye on the seat for you. So, yeah, that could be used in a negative sentence. I didn't keep an eye on it. Oh, hello, Gooey. Great to see you in the stream. Shaima, I always let my hair down during holidays. Yeah, I think that's the best time to do it, isn't it? Just relax, have some fun, let your hair down. Let's meet tonight and let our hair down. Great. Pronoun here can change. Fantastic sentence. Do you mind lowering the TV volume as I'm trying to let my hair down? So that's quite a nice sentence, actually. So we've got a little bit of a joke there, which is nice. Yeah, I'm trying to relax. What hair? You are you not bald? Lovely, Zakaria. Pallavi, it's really difficult to let my hair down when I have a lot of work. Great sentence and very true, because if you've got a lot of work, it's tough to relax, isn't it? So great sentence. The students are letting their hair down since the exams are over. Great sentence, May. And I think this happens at the end of every semester or every term. Students can go out and have some fun. They can let their hair down. The trainer let his hair down after his session. Great, VJ. I try to always find a moment during the day to let my hair down. Very. I would change the word order here and just put always after I, Salma. I always try to. But other parts were great. When I have enormous, when I have I would say when I have an enormous amount of responsibilities, an enormous amount. My sister always says to me, just let your hair down. So I would change that a little bit. An enormous amount. We can always let our hair down when we are at home. Great sentence, May. I've been working hard lately, so I need to take a break and let my hair down. Great sentence, Sleepwalker. One of my friends always lets your hair down, lets her hair down, her. So we need to change the pronoun. The friend's name is Lavanya. Okay, let's her. So we'll just change that part. I spend Saturdays and Sundays letting my hair down with my family at home. Fantastic. I couldn't show up for the night duty because I was stressed during the day and needed to let my hair down. Great, Zakaria. Really nice. Teacher, why don't you let your hair down? You should let your hair down once in a while. I would love to let my hair down, Carlos says, but I'm too busy these days. Too busy. Yeah, when I have an enormous amount of responsibilities. Fantastic, Layla. Okay, we are going to move on to our second group of idioms. Now, five completely different idioms. The only thing they have in common is all of them are using body parts. So, what do we have this time? Make my blood boil, play it by ear, don't see eye to eye, by the skin of my teeth, stick my neck out. So again, five body parts: blood, ear, eye, teeth, neck. Again, these meanings don't really have anything to do with our bodies. They've got completely different meanings. So, again, let's look at the five idioms. Let's look at five definitions. So, our first definition is to do something without a prior plan. So, we're not making a plan before. We are just kind of doing something without a plan. The second one, to take a risk, even though the result may be bad for you. C is to barely manage. So to just manage to do, oh, sorry, I need to change that. To barely manage to do something. Oh, sorry. To barely manage to do something. Yeah. Okay. And our next one, to make you very angry. And the last one, to disagree with someone. So those are our five definitions. These are our five idioms: make my blood boil, play it by ear, don't see eye to eye, by the skin of my teeth, stick my neck out. So, can you match the definitions to the idioms on the right? I will give you a few minutes to do this, and then we will look at some of these answers. So again, do something without a prior plan, take a risk, even though the result could be bad for you, to barely manage to do something, to make you very angry, to disagree with someone. Gui saying here, I am just watching you and letting my hair down, relaxing, enjoying the lesson, I hope. Great. So let's see. Number 6, make my blood boil. Pallavi is saying to make you angry. Sleepwalker is saying the same, and Shaima and Zakaria are all saying the same. Okay. Number 7, play it by ear. Sleepwalker is saying to do something without a plan. Shaima, same. Zakaria is saying the same. Mirnawati is saying the same. Yep. For don't see eye to eye, what have we got for number 8? Sleepwalker is saying to disagree with someone. Zakaria is saying to disagree with someone. Mirnawati, to disagree with someone. Shaima, to disagree with someone. Good. Number 9, by the skin of my teeth, or the skin of your teeth. Let's see. What do we have here? Sleepwalker is saying to barely manage to do something. Zakaria is saying the same. Layla is saying the same for number 9. And Shaima is also saying, yep. Okay. And stick my neck out was the last one. What did we have for this? Sleepwalker was saying this one was to take a risk. And Mirnawati, take a risk. Shaima, take a risk. Layla, take a disagree with someone. Okay, we won't. Yep, that was correct as well. Now we got a few comments coming in when I was going down here. Salma was saying it's too difficult. Now we're going to go on and do the sentences in a minute or two, Salma. Hopefully that can make it a little bit easier. Layla, also to guess the meaning of these idioms is very challenging. That is the major issue with idioms, Layla, is it's so difficult to work out what they mean just from looking at the words. So we kind of need to learn them like new vocabulary, like new words, because it's so difficult to look at the individual words and find the definition from them. So it can be very, very tough. But yeah, so to do something without a prior plan is to play it by ear. To take a risk even though the result may be bad for you, is to stick your neck out, to barely manage to do something, is by the skin of your teeth, to make you very angry, to make my blood boil, and to disagree with someone is we don't see eye to eye. Now, we can have the positive for see eye to eye. See eye to eye is means you agree with someone. I think I just chose the negative here because I think that's probably more commonly used. Don't see eye to eye is more common than the positive see eye to eye. Okay, Corey, good night. Thank you for. Okay, you're welcome. Have a great day. I hope you do as well. So let's look at some of these examples and let's get you making some sentences again. So, our first one here, make my blood boil, is making me very angry. Again, this pronoun can change, make his blood boil, your blood boil. So here, animal cruelty really makes my blood boil. Okay. So I hate this. I hate animal cruelty. It makes me very, very angry. It makes my blood boil. Asif's new boss makes his blood boil. He is always asking him to do menial tasks. And menial tasks are really unimportant tasks that anyone could do. And that can make people quite angry. So Asif's new boss makes his blood boil. We're changing the wording. The lack of government help for homelessness makes my blood boil. So this makes me really angry that the government is not doing enough to help this problem. So, what makes your blood boil? What makes you really, really angry? So, write in the comments below using this idiom to make my blood boil. Tell me about things that bother you, that make you angry. So, Zakaria is saying one here, the audacity of politicians makes. So, in this case here, we would change make to makes because we're talking about a thing, it makes my blood boil. So the audacity of the politicians makes my blood boil. Very good, Zakaria. Me too. Me too. This argument makes my blood boil. Let's stop this discussion. Now, Sleepwalker, I would change this a little bit. So this is something we would say at the time. So we would probably have to change the grammar to present continuous. This argument is making my blood boil. Let's stop this discussion. So I think that would work better in this situation. This argument is making my blood boil. It is making my blood boil, not boiled. So we don't want to change this at all. This will never change. So it is making my blood boil when the buses are delayed frequently. Delayed, we would change here, may. Okay, so I would just take out of here, Shaima. The rising prices nowadays makes my blood boil. Me too. It makes me so angry. Everything is so expensive these days. Great, Layla. Seeing some people throw garbage on the street makes my blood boil. Me too. Really annoys me. This argument is making my blood boil. Let's stop this discussion. Great, Sleepwalker. That works much better here. Whenever I don't know the answer to questions, it really makes my blood boil. Excellent sentence, Pallavi. Really, really nice. So Layla, that's one that you don't use often. Now, Sleepwalker asked me at the beginning of today's lesson what ones I use often, and this is one that I do use often, actually. Oh, that really makes my blood boil. Drives me crazy is another one. But yeah, so you do have the same idiom in your language, but just not one that you use very often. Dirty beaches make my blood boil. Very good. I agree with this, GUI. There's no need for it. Yeah. My brother makes my blood boil like nobody else. I think anybody that's got brothers and sisters can understand this, Carla Cease. My brothers and sisters used to make my blood boil all the time when I was younger. Great. He kept an eye on the students in the exam, but some students cheated, which made his blood boil. Fantastic, Mirnawati. So we've got two of our idioms from today. Great. Stop teasing me. You're making my blood boil. Very good, Sleepwalker. My blood boils when I listen to politicians these days. So I would change that a little bit, Zakaria. Take out of this and just put in these days. Yeah, I get the same when I listen to politicians. I can't trust them. So yeah, they make my blood boil. Injustice and discrimination make my blood boil. Lovely sentence, Salma. Very good. You're making my blood boil when you don't tell me the truth. So, truth. TH at the end here. TRUTH. When I see someone, here I would change this hitting. When I see someone hitting their children, that makes my blood boil. Me too, Layla. Me too. Yeah, leaving rubbish on the beaches makes my blood boil. I agree completely, Shaima. What is the meaning of boil? Boil is when something gets so hot that it starts to bubble, like when you boil water when you're making some tea. So, can you imagine your blood is so hot that it is boiling? That's basically what we're meaning in this idiom. It's making us very, very angry. But the word boil is when something becomes so hot that it starts bubbling away. Your aunts used it when you were young? Okay, great. Whenever Mifa don't see Johnny's in the market, it really makes... So I would change this to her blood boil. It really makes her blood boil. Yeah, that would be good in there. Okay, that was good, Naween. So our next one, to play it by ear. So this is something we're doing something we don't really have a definite plan. We're just going to see what happens. So again, some examples. Let's meet on Saturday. We can play it by ear after we meet. So we've got a rough plan. We're going to meet, but we haven't made a definite plan. But when we meet up, we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll go for a coffee or we'll go to the cinema. So we've got no definite plan. We'll just play it by ear. We'll decide when we meet. I'm not sure how this plan will develop, so let's just play it by ear. Let's just see what happens. Ian doesn't like to have fixed plans. He plays things by ear. So he doesn't make any fixed plans. He just goes along and gets some ideas and goes along with what other people are doing. Or again, he'll see what happens. So again, with this, we've got a verb. So the verb can change. So he plays. So let's say we were talking about last night. So we met up with friends last night. We didn't plan anything. We just played it by ear. So we could use it in the past tense as well. So, can you make some of your sentences using play it by ear? Maybe there's a time that you're going to meet your friends tomorrow and we've got no definite plan. We'll just play it by ear. Or maybe a time in the past when you played it by ear. While I'm waiting on them, May's got another sentence. She makes my blood boil when she doesn't return my clothes. Yeah, I think this is a common thing with brothers and sisters, isn't it? Great. During the beginning of the contagion, I scrapped all my plans and played it by ear. So, played it by ear. And I think, Zakaria, lots of people did this when we think back to the pandemic. We just didn't know. We couldn't make any plans. They would change from day to day. So we had to play it by ear. So again, played it by ear. We have not thought about the next week, and yet we will play it by ear. Excellent. Excellent. I don't have any specific plans, so just we play it by ear when we meet. So I would say, so we will just play it by ear when we meet next week. We will just. He doesn't he doesn't have any plans for his future. He plays it by ear. Lovely, Shaima. To Okay, I would change the word to order here a little bit, Salma. To not be disappointed, I usually play things by ear. This part of the sentence is great. I usually play things by ear. We could use it here, or we could use things. Things are fine in this sentence here. This is really common, Zakaria. Yeah. So this is something, but it's really common, but it's used in that specific situation when we're talking about making plans. So it's something that I use all the time with my friends. So I'll say, let's meet at 5 o'clock, and we'll play it by ear from there. So it is common, but it's used in that specific situation. So yeah, it's certainly one that I use quite often. When my friend came over to my home, we made cake and the taste was weird as we played it by ear. Yeah. So we didn't really have a set plan. We just started throwing things in. We played it by ear. Great, Mirnawati. So here, because we're using played, we don't need the past tense of the be verb. So we just played it by ear for our vacation last week. Yeah. So get rid of this were. She doesn't plan for doing anything. She just plays it by ear. Okay. I would just say here, she doesn't plan anything. She just plays it by ear. I played it by ear when I had to take on a task at a time I was supposed to let my hair down. Very nice, Zakaria. We've got 2 of today's idioms in there. Fantastic. The best parties are when people don't play it by ear. Yeah. So if we don't play it by ear, we plan it very carefully. So yeah, I agree with this, Salma. Very nice. I bought some fabric last week playing it by ear, so we had no plan to do that. I was at the market and I saw one of my school. I decided to go out with her and we said we will play it by ear. This is a fantastic sentence, Pallavi. Really nice. Great. So we've got 2 sentences here that are bringing in the negative. Completely fine to do this. He prepared his vacation plan thoroughly because he didn't want to play it by ear. So sometimes when we play things by ear, it's not a good thing because if we don't have a plan, well, where are we going to stay? Where are we going to go? Yeah. Just watch out for the typo there, Layla. But yep, that's much better. We'll take the company problem in our stride and play it by ear. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I would put in our stride. Yeah. Very good, Mirnawati. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Let's move on to our next one. Now, as I said before, this one can be used in the positive, see eye to eye. So see eye to eye meaning agree with someone. But I just think it's more commonly used in the negative, don't see eye to eye. And that means to disagree or Maybe we don't get along well with someone. So again, if we look at some examples, my team doesn't see eye to eye on a lot of issues, meaning we disagree a lot of the time. So my team disagree. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of issues. My father and I don't see eye to eye on politics. So he's got one opinion, I've got another. We don't see eye to eye. We disagree. My boss and I didn't see eye to eye on my new contract. So I'm looking for a new job. So my boss thought this, I thought this, and we just couldn't get an agreement. So I'm going to look for a new job. So there we're showing some sort of disagreement. As I said before, it is okay to use this without the negative, just using the positive see eye to eye, and that means to agree with someone. So, we are going to look at some sentences, write them in the chat, and I'll see if there's any corrections needed. Don't see eye to eye, meaning to disagree with someone. Okay. I never go on vacation. So I would change this. I never go on vacation by playing it by ear. Change it. We have a lot in common, so here, Sleepwalker, we would need see. See. We have a lot in common, so we see eye to eye on many things. See eye to eye. Zakaria is saying some of my colleagues don't see eye to eye and are always gossiping about each other. Very good. Yeah, I think this is a common way that I would use this. I don't see eye to eye with my husband sometimes. Yeah, I think most marriages have this where you're going to have disagreements. We don't always see eye to eye. Very good. My husband and I don't see eye to eye in some situations, so we split the difference. Yeah. So we make a kind of compromise. Yeah. Great sentence there, Salma. Playing it by ear. We just need it in there. The company and supplier don't see eye to eye so yep, I would just change for to on, and then we've got a perfect sentence. The company and the supplier don't see eye to eye on the latest project. That's really nice. Yeah, so we see eye to eye on many things. So yeah, as I said before, this is something that could be used in the positive as well as the negative. Again, here's Layla with another one in the positive. My sister and I see eye to eye on several issues. Fantastic. So, Shaima, I would change this around. My friend and I don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. So, when we're using my friend should come before I. My friend and I. Again, if my father and I don't see eye to eye, we can't make decisions together. Fantastic, Carla sees. Zakaria, Nurse Jerome always. I would take out always and just say Nurse Jerome doesn't see eye to eye with most patient relatives in her unit. So get rid of always and change that to doesn't. And we've got a good one. I didn't see eye to eye with my coworker when I was an employee. Great. We're using past tense. Lovely Mirnawati. She and her sister don't see eye to eye as they're not talking to each other. Okay, nice, mate. So we've got a few more here. We've got the next one, by the skin of your teeth. And remember, this is meaning to just be able to do something. So we've barely managed to complete something. It's by the skin of our teeth. So some examples of how we would use this. We managed to complete the project by the skin of our teeth. So let's say the deadline was on Saturday at 6 p.m. and we finished at 5:55. We did it by the skin of our teeth. We just got there on time. Um, I got 61% on my exam, so passed by the skin of my teeth. Again, I just passed the exam, no more, just passed it by the skin of my teeth. The flight desk was about to close, but John made it by the skin of his teeth. So he was going to the airport. They were about to close the desk to get to check in, but he just got there in time. So he made it by the skin of his teeth. So that's what we're meaning by this. You've just managed to do something. So we use this quite often with times. We were nearly late, or we use it maybe for exams, passing exams, or we've just done something and barely managed to complete that thing. So, can you make some sentences? Tell me some things that you have done by the skin of your teeth. You've just managed to do them. And let's see what answers we can get. Now, we've got a few other ones from the previous one. His wife didn't see eye to eye, therefore. Okay, very good, Layla. And Pallavi, I don't see eye to eye whenever my parents. So I would put in here, I don't see eye to eye with my parents when they watch sports on TV. I arrived at the office by the skin of my teeth. Very good. So we're just in time. Just in time. I arrived at the office. Salma, when I was in university, I was always late for doing my homework and finished it by the skin of my teeth. Very, very nice, Salma. Shaima, I finished the task which my manager asked me to do by the skin of my teeth. Just managed to do it. Fantastic. Sleepwalker is saying we waited too long for a taxi and arrived at the concert by the skin of our teeth. Very good. Just in time for it to start. This idiom is one that by the skin of my teeth use only in limited contexts. I'm not sure what we're meaning by this. So I think all idioms are only used in limited contexts. So I'm not sure what we're meaning there. Okay, GUI. So this we would change. I am answering these questions by the skin of my teeth. I would change that. I am answering these questions by the skin of my teeth. You're welcome, Pallavi. If you don't want to complete your task by the skin of your teeth, never deliver them in the nick of time. Okay, there's another good one, in the nick of time. And in the nick of time is the exact same meaning, Mirnawati, is by the skin of your teeth. You have just done something in time. Very, very good. I did my chores by the skin of my teeth because I was very tired. Okay, so maybe we nearly didn't complete them. It seems wrong. Yeah, it's idioms, Zakaria, are very strange because we don't have any skin on our teeth. It doesn't make any sense when we look at those words. Skin of your teeth. It doesn't make any sense. And a lot of these idioms, they do feel wrong, Zakaria. They feel strange, they sound strange, and they're sometimes difficult to use, and they do sound wrong. But yeah, it is quite a commonly used one, and even though it sounds strange, it is good to learn it and see if you can use it. But yeah, I get you what you're saying. It does sound wrong. I have to do them by the skin of my teeth. Okay. I managed to board the train just by the skin of my teeth. You're very welcome. You're answering half asleep. Don't worry about it. That's okay. I am not sure, Sleepwalker. Some of these idioms have quite a clear origin. This one, I don't know. I do know a lot of idioms came from William Shakespeare. A lot of English vocabulary and phrasal verbs and idioms are that old. They go back to the times of Shakespeare. But I don't think he created this one. But I do not know. Okay, that's the question. Exactly, Sleepwalker. Okay, so we have got the last one today was stick your neck out, to take a risk even though the result may be bad for you. So, some examples. My assistant is extremely loyal. She stuck her neck out to defend me against the boss. So, defending me against the boss was a big risk for her. So, she stuck her neck out. Now, we'll see again because we've got a verb in this idiom. This can change like any other verb. Stick becomes stuck here. I've stuck my neck out for you in the past, so why won't you help me now? So, this is something people have done before. Well, in the past, I took a risk to support you. Why don't you do it for me now? I'm going to stick my neck out and say Argentina will win the World Cup. So, there, I'm taking a little bit of a risk. I know we've only got two teams, Argentina and France, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say Argentina will win. It's a little bit of a risk because I think France are probably favourites for the World Cup, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say Argentina will win. So, stick your neck out or stick my neck out, stick his neck out, stick our necks out. All ways to show that you're taking a risk, even though that risk may end up in a bad result for you. So let's see if we can get some sentences. Now, before we do that, Layla's got one from this. I guess all the idioms are new for me except give me a hand. Great, Layla. So if these are all new for you, you've been using them really, really well in your sentences. So if these are the first time you're hearing them, great job, Layla, because you've been using them really well. And maybe that's due to experience of using other idioms, knowing when to change parts and when not to change parts. But yeah, you've been doing really well with your sentences. I stuck my neck out when I visited North Korea. Yeah, very, very big risk in that case. My neighbor escaped from the secret police by the skin of his teeth. Excellent, Carla C. So he just escaped. We will know soon for sure, just on Sunday. Yep, tomorrow we will know if my prediction is correct. And if it's not correct, you can all make fun of me in future streams. He gave them a fan by providing a vast amount of money without thinking it would stick his neck out. Now, this doesn't really work here. So you could use he stuck his neck out by providing a vast amount of money. So he took a risk by providing that money. But it doesn't really work here. So what we could say, he gave them a hand providing a vast amount of money. He stuck his neck out. I think that would work. Okay, very good. I stuck my neck out when I told my friend a serious secret. Very nice. I'm going to stick my neck out as I need to go to a new place alone. Very, very good. My girl stuck her neck out on a project. Yeah. So she took a risk doing something there. Very, very nice. I stuck my neck out when I decided to start up my own business. Lovely sleepwalker. Very, very good. Emmanuel, he stuck his neck out riding a motorcycle. Yeah, that's something that could be very, very dangerous. Yeah. Usually when we're using stick our neck out, it's usually in relation to someone else. So like maybe you've done something to help someone, and by helping them, you've taken a risk. That's a kind of more common way that we would use it. By sticking his neck out. Yeah, this works better now, Mirnawati. Yeah. So he had to stick his neck out to do this. So he took a risk. Yeah, that works better. Very good. He stuck his neck out and left his job to start his own business. Lovely. Now here, Layla, we would have to change my to their because we're talking about my parents. My parents stuck their necks out to raise me. So I have to give them a hand now if they need it. Lovely here. But just the grammar here, stuck their necks. So two parents, two necks. Stuck their necks. Lovely. Why would you stick your neck out for her? Very good, Carlos. And this is something that I think people would say in conversation quite a lot. So maybe you've helped somebody and you took a risk by helping them, but people are thinking, well, why would you do that? That person maybe never would do the same for you. So yeah, why would you stick your neck out for her? You're so amazing. Are you sticking your neck out? I think we would need something else here. You are sticking your neck out for me, maybe? That would work here. I'm going to stick my neck out to write my subjects in another language for my exams. Okay, Pallavi, very good. All right, so those are our 10 idioms from today. Let's quickly go over them and see what we had. We started off with to get something off of my chest. So that's meaning to tell someone about a problem. Give a hand, meaning to help someone. To be in over my head. Well, that was when we take on a task that we're maybe not capable of doing. Keep an eye on is maybe to take care of something or look after something. Let my hair down, meaning to relax and have some fun. We then had make my blood boil, which means to make me very angry. Play it by ear, do something without a prior plan. Don't see eye to eye, meaning to disagree with someone. By the skin of my teeth, meaning just to do something, just in time or just past something, to barely do something. And finally, stick my neck out. So maybe to take a risk helping someone, and maybe you can get a negative reward or negative impact. So those were our 10 idioms today. I think the sentences we did today were really, really nice. So for some homework today, I would like you to use some of the idioms from today's lesson to write maybe something about yourself. So maybe you could write something about what makes your blood boil, or something you did by the skin of your teeth, a time when you were in over your head, what you do to let your hair down, and a time maybe when you gave someone a hand. So these are just some ideas of things that you could do for your homework. As usual, You can write your answers in the comments section of this video. I will give some feedback on your writing and maybe make some corrections if I need to. As usual, you can write as much or as little as you want, and I will give you some feedback. Okay, let's just catch up with a few of these comments before we finish. Yeah, stuck their necks out. Much better there, Layla. Well, that's the thing, Mirnawati. Sometimes it's difficult to remember them. The best way to remember them is to maybe try using them. That is the problem, though, because they're usually used in very specific situations. But to remember them, try writing. Write some sentences using them. See if it sticks in. But yeah, they are easy to forget. You're welcome there. You're welcome, Gooey. You're welcome, Sleepwalker. And Layla's saying, well, that is it. You've made a note of them, and maybe that situation arises and you can use that. Most of these are quite common, so there are a lot of opportunities. Think about it. How often do we talk about being angry? Use makes my blood boil. You're welcome, Salma. You're welcome, Layla and Shaima. You are welcome. And everybody heading off. You're welcome, May. I thank you very much. I'll try to enjoy the holiday. Thank you, Pallavi. You're very welcome. This is only on Saturdays, but next Saturday there will be no live stream because it's the holiday period. If you're on the WhatsApp group, I will post some messages telling about how the schedule is going to be changing over the holiday period. So it's usually on Saturdays, but for the next few weeks, it's going to change. I'll probably do some midweek streams in the next week or two. Yeah, it comes up a lot, Mirnawati, in movies. Yeah, we'll see a lot of phrasal verbs, a lot of idioms, and it is difficult to memorize them. So, yeah. So it will surprise you. There will be times where these idioms will pop into your head and you will try to use them. And hey, you're welcome, Mirnawati. So this is a good point to wrap up. Merry Christmas and advance to you as well. Ravindu, everyone. So thank you for joining the live stream today. I hope you have found the idioms useful and maybe you're going to try using them in some conversation in the future. So I will see you all soon in another live stream. But for now, bye-bye.